You're telling me that all it took for us to gain class consciousness on the internet was for Starbucks to release this mug, this landfill abomination that is basically someone taking a mega ray up to like 2% to a honey jar? And that was the final straw for us consumers. That was the final straw for us Americans over here being like, hold on a second, I've seen this before. Yes, we're talking about consumerism. No, we're not gonna dive into the whole psychology behind this bear thing and the whole drama behind it. There's so many videos that are gonna be about that. We're gonna be talking about how to defeat consumerism for yourself, and at least things that have worked for me, because behind us, as you can see, today's location is the garage. And this is not all my stuff, but my stuff takes up a lot of it. Now, do we touch this stuff that we have? No. There is a smattering of, childhood toys and memorabilia, suitcases, and other craft stuff that we use occasionally. But all in all, it's stuff that I can't justify yet to let go of, because I'm like, what if I need it? What if I need it? But it really is just, if I really think about it, at the end of the day, what really matters, this stuff is a bunch of junk. I'm not gonna take it with me. It's just there. But it's stuff that once I thought was gonna be so important, or I just had to have it. And now it has accumulated to what you see behind me. So as I tell you how I defeated my own consumerism, this is just a reminder to be like, I'm not perfect. And this is a recent thing. As we've seen on the internet, as much as TikTok has given us brain rot and a lot of mental problems, it has also given us a chance to come together as a collective, nationwide, worldwide sometimes. I think the US is kind of cut off from that now, but in a grand scheme of things, come together as a collective and go, hold up, we're not gonna fall for these things that we normally do fall for anymore. And the recent thing that we've decided that we're no longer doing is consumerism. I don't even care. I don't even care if it's not everyone. I'm saying it for the class. I'm going to speak for the collective. We're kind of over blind consumerism at this point, and thank God. I, for one, didn't even know it was a thing until recently. I moved back home from being nomadic for most of my 20s, and being stationary, I was like, oh, now I can accumulate things and use my knickknacks and whatever. And I realized very quickly that the stuff I thought I wanted, or the stuff I was like, now I can actually start to think about these types of things, they were junk. It was a waste of money, a waste of space. And it is so mind-boggling that more people are not awake to this. It's so mind-boggling that people are victims to this. And I will say there's a certain percentage of scalpers. I'm not talking about those people. I'm just talking about the sheep of people, mainly adults, which is kind of concerning at this point, who are in this blind consumerism. I'm calling it that. And maybe there's another word, but blind consumer is just not questioning your spending habits over junk, which is subjective, I understand, but junk as in things that you do not need to operate as a human being. You can live without it. And listen, is it the greatest sin in the world? No. But is it something that we have no resources in order to address it other than social media at this point? They're on our classes. Maybe there's an anonymous group that can help out with this, but it's something that's not being talked about widely, at least in the TV land, the boomer Gen X land, because it's not beneficial to the society that we live in, which is capitalism. I don't care if you love it or hate it. We live in a capitalist society, and this is one of the byproducts of it. Having your identity being what you buy, when it really should come from what you do, what your ethics are, your morals, where you stand, how you view the world. No, for these people are not, I think, therefore I am. It's, I buy, therefore I am. In so many ways, keeping up with these trends is a form of living. Anyways, I can go on and on about that stuff, but I really do want to share how I broke out of it. Because I gotta tell you what, I was totally in this headspace. I'm definitely the pot calling the kettle black. It wasn't until this year that I realized I had more power than I thought. I don't need the things that I have been subconsciously believing that I needed. And knowing all of that is good, but actually following through and not purchasing was such a power move, and it felt so good. And so when you get back home after going out to shop and not buying the things that you didn't need, it's kind of like a feeling in the minor leagues and the kids baseball when they hit a home run and they go back to the dugout and they go, yeah, and they party around him. That's what it kind of feels like, going out into the world, only buying what you need and coming back home and being like, yeah. But you only get that feeling as soon as you get through your door. Anyways, without further ado, if it could help me, it could definitely help you. This is how you're gonna fix your overconsumerism. Starting off very strong. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. We hear that about relationships, but this is also for purchases, especially thrift stores, and I had to learn this the long way. Just because stuff was cheap, like $1, I was like, oh my gosh, I should get this. I should get this. Even though in my heart of hearts, I'm like, I don't really know about this. I was very unsure about like this extra sweater or this really cool knickknack that I thought would make a few people laugh, but I didn't really like it all too much. It took from like college to probably the age of 26 for me to be like, just because I can afford it doesn't mean I need it. That's another point. But like, even back then, I knew deep down it wasn't a hell yes. It was a hell maybe, which is a no. And so you have to trust your gut. Again, like in relationships and other facets of life, also pertains to buying things. You have got to be like 100% certain that you need this. I do believe this takes practice, because there is sometimes that I'm like, maybe I don't really need this, and it turns out like, oh, of course I needed that, but you can't always predict the future. Since we can't predict the future, we only know what's now. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Which leads us to our next point, and probably my favorite thing to say out loud, even when I'm alone in public, is saying, this is nice, but I don't need it. It's one thing to be like, oh, I don't need it, and like completely go cold turkey to an object. Again, for my example is the thrift store. There's a lot of things that I'm like, oh, this is so nice. But thinking about it and actually giving it time to stew in my brain and when I would use it, when I would wear it, there's usually nothing that comes to my brain about how I can utilize this product. It's one thing to be like, I don't need this, and like completely be like, and there's something that stirs in my brain that goes, but it's nice, but it's nice. So that's why addressing and noticing it out loud, or just in your head being like, this is nice, but I don't need it. Both could be true at the same time. And I don't know, something really changed in my brain chemistry once I allowed myself to realize that I liked it and still didn't get it. There's real power in that. Try it out if you haven't. And an instance I always like to remind myself of this concept is one time I went to Goodwill and there was this picnic basket with a wine bottle attachment. It was a big thing a few years ago. I think Target had that in the dollar section, but this was like a vintage one. This was like a really nice one. I don't go to picnics. I barely drink wine. But still in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, I need this. Can you imagine all the picnics I would go on and like just showing up with this perfect wine and picnic basket? Like I would be the talk of the town. It would be great Instagram, and like thinking about all these things, none of it attached to reality. And I was like, hold up, even though it is just $3, it's gonna go back there. When I really thought about the grand timeline of things, I was probably going to use it probably once and then never again. Like we see before us today. So whenever I see something like that again, it's like, oh, it spikes my dopamine. It is so pretty. It's nice, but I do not need it. When will I use this? When will I use this? Always use your own history before your fantasies for these products. Number 3, the 24-hour rule is goated, because there's been many purchases that I've had online. I had stuff in my cart, and then the next morning I'm like, the heck? I don't need this. You know what I could do with that $32? A lot of other things. I don't need this exact product. See you later. Number 4, and probably something that we should all be doing, especially us US citizens, is that you need to see the stuff on the shelves through the lens of a landfill. So easy to do this in Target. So easy to do this in Home Goods and TJ Maxx. You see something, you're like, is going to be in the picture of one of these trash islands in the coming months. It's gonna be there, which is crazy to think that we're alive at the same time, like we're living our life right now wherever we are. Like this is a reality, and then there's a whole other part of the planet that has these huge trash islands, landfill waste spots, basically, also on land too, in different countries, that are just junk from people who throw away their purchases that they're gonna buy this holiday season. It may look so pretty. It may hit your dopamine receptors. Is it gonna be in a landfill pretty soon? You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. I'm not saying like, oh, you're gonna save it from the landfill. The destiny has already been set out for that product. Put your money somewhere else. That's all I'm gonna say. Number 5, and a game changer for little old me, is to consume content like this, like anti-consumerist content. You need to make it so normal to yourself that overspending on plastic junk is bad to a point where you don't even like question it. And you know what? I'll say it. I used to consume a lot of haul content. I love watching people shop. It's just something about it. It's just so much fun because I'm not doing the spending, but I'm getting the same type of benefit or like dopamine hit from shopping. Replacing that type of content with anti-consumerist content is like a 1-2 punch combo. It's like the secret combination on a video game of like KOing the needing to spend impulse in my brain. And this is something that I had to go out and seek. Obviously, I don't think the algorithm is pushing this type of content out too much because what can you sell from that other than like maybe these types of videos have different type of partnerships that they have that's like very non-over-consumerist or whatever. But you know what? Again, we do live in a society. It is a capitalistic society. So things will be pushed on us. But the overspending, it's like the secret chord that pleased the Lord in David's Hallelujah. Whoa, I'm gonna get sued. So I would highly suggest TikTok, Instagram, YouTube because you're already on here. But hold on, let me find my favorite people that I watch so I can actually shout them out. Oh, I like Shell Bisley. She's solid. She's actually like my gateway drug into all of this and the only person I'll recommend because I don't know all these other people. She is one of the people that like kind of woke me up subconsciously because like when you watch something it's kind of like, oh yeah, I get it. But it did seep in to the back of my brain being like, I'm not gonna fall for that. I'm not gonna buy this. All these sales or whatever. She's great. And I'm gonna end with a call to action and something that we should all be normalizing. Holiday decor should be reused. There is no reason to keep buying stuff. And listen, if you have to keep buying stuff or like you need to replace something or you want a little zhuzh up your area, why not go to Goodwill? Goodwill is selling Christmas stuff in October. Nay, like September. It's pretty crazy. They're desperate to get rid of that stuff. They have to hold on to it for like 8 months out of the year until they go, oh, here's a little Christmas pop-up shop, and take away your favorite sections of Goodwill and slap on their little Christmas village. Go to Goodwill. Guys, I hate it. I hate when they do that. If it was just 2 months like it should be, I would be loving it. But since it starts out like 4 or 5 months into the year, I just want to see more clothes, okay? I want to see more clothes, and that's it. And listen, the only way to get over the super consumerist tendencies that Americans have, like you and I have, is to acknowledge it and then do something about it. There's no secret sauce. You know, I don't think it's a complete sin to give in to like a few purchases here and there because no one is perfect. I'm not here being like, be a total nun about it. But this bare Starbucks cup has really like, it should make us all give pause to our spending habits and especially give pause to the way we interact with these corporations who are kind of like low-key, high-key abusing us financially, using manipulation of like the sweet treat or like exclusiveness as a way of shelling out our last dollar. Because listen, I don't care if it's Road Beauty, I don't care if it's Amazon, I don't care if it's, I don't know, fill in the blank to your favorite business right now. We should be all looking at their exclusive products like we do for those infomercials for the coins. You know what I'm talking about if you are above the age of 25. If you're above the age of 25, you know what I'm talking about. But remember watching cartoons or the nightly news with your family, and then the commercial had this like super special coin or this super special poster or coin collection, whatever. It was like the most stupidest thing, but it was packaged in a way of being exclusive and very highly wanted, highly desirable, would make you seem like somebody when someone would enter your house. And it was just trash. Every exclusive item that these companies drop need to be seen like that. It's just different colored trash, okay? And I'm gonna say this and then a place is gonna drop something that I actually really want and I get it and I'm gonna be seen as a hypocrite. I fully am aware if you like something, get it. But just because it's exclusive or just because, you know, there's gonna be a lot of sales, especially coming up in recent times, because it's November, it's gonna be getting to the holiday season. Just like, be aware of it and see it as a coin commercial because that's what it really is. You know, maybe the Shirley Temple DVD gotcha, maybe the butterfly pet simulator thing gotcha. We all have our pitfalls. Instead of being blind to what it is, it's so important and a skill worth developing of seeing these things as companies doing a cheap trick in order to get your dollar, your hard-earned dollar. If you watch it to this end of the video, I'm gonna give you a free hall pass to bully anyone with that stupid bear Starbucks cup. See ya.